All right, welcome. I'm Pearl from Pearl in the Prayers, and this is Tuned In Tarot. And we are here to take a look at the removing of the. I'm not getting credit for that. So I don't want that to be in my video. We are taking a look at the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine energy inside of self, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our interactions with others, in our external environment. And if we want to see change, we do need to shift and change the energy within us. And it is Friday, and this is the day that we do the thinking, feeling, saying, doing reading for the divine masculine and divine feminine energy. And this is also the part where I remind you that this is the energy of the mind and the heart. It is reflected back to us and people outside of us, but it has nothing to do with their gender. It is true that when we do identify in one gender or another, we may lean into one energy more than another, out of societal construct, actually, and nothing that's necessarily inherently like meaningful in terms of the soul. And what we look at here is like the soul. So if you want to deal with things with the body and be focused on the body, you would be in the masculine energy of the mindset, and not so much in the heart, which feels more than it needs information about, right? It already has knowing. Okay, so keep that in mind. So when you listen to it, you can imagine your person is thinking or feeling or saying these things, but a lot of times what happens is we get fixated on this one individual who we believe is, imbuing all of this meaning into their life that has somehow to do with us, and it doesn't always pan out that way, because we're listening to readings that are coming from the higher self, which is your higher self, and the match to you and your energy might not be the person that you have been focused on. And this isn't me saying like this might not be your twin, because I'm not a person who ever is like, this is your twin or is not your twin. I don't do that. I don't do that kind of shit. Go somewhere else for that kind of shit. If you want somebody to tell you who you're supposed to be with, and you don't want that to be your own heart, this is not for you. This reading isn't for you. But so I'm not saying like you might be focused on the wrong person and there's this other person that's meant for you, like, and you got it wrong. And what I'm saying is the person you're currently focused on may not be thinking, feeling, saying, and doing exactly these things because they might not be in alignment with you. And if you're not really engaging a lot with a person or interacting a lot with a person, they're probably not like on your level vibrationally. They're probably not like where you're at. So try to resist imbuing a lot of meaning from these readings into your actual relationship that's happening externally. Instead, to get information about that relationship, communicate directly with the person. And if you can't, then you have all the information you need, which is this person is not open to communication at this time. You don't need a tarot reader to tell you that. But if you want to know why you're attracting energy and having relationships like the ones you're experiencing, hi, welcome. Glad you made it to the live. Then this is the place where you are going to be able to figure that stuff out. If you're like, well, why do I focus on people that aren't in alignment with me? Why do I focus on people that I have these experiences with? Hopefully, from my readings, you figure out why. And that's what we're doing here today with thinking, saying, and doing. And if somebody is thinking and saying and doing the things you think they're thinking and saying and doing, it's because of the way that you think about the world and you feel about the world. And so that's what's most important. Okay, I have a lot of beautiful cards in front of me. I'm going to spoil you a little bit with the oracles today. Probably not going to read them all in great detail, but I'm going to give you a lot of energy for both sides. I did a Tell Me Everything reading, but for those of you that are not members, you missed the Tell Me Everything cards with the animal spirit where your person speaks directly to you. I am including that in today's reading. The full reading will be on YouTube. There is no extended reading today. I'm doing the whole thing. For everybody today. But members do receive extended readings. You do receive discounts, and you do receive the opportunity at the higher level to have a free virtual session with me once a month. So go check that out. Scroll down, hit Pearl's Prayers to join the membership today to support my channel. You can also discover private readings there as well. So let's get started. We're going to just do the overall energy before we get to thinking, saying, doing. Just generally speaking, overall going on for the feminine and masculine energy. What do we have today? Already making me laugh. That's good. So the overall energy for the divine feminine today is the 9 of Cups. And I'm getting a selfish energy today, but not actually a shadowy one, more like nothing is going to change my world, kind of like in the in the song Across the Universe, when John Lennon is singing nothing's going to change my world. You can hear that in with I hear that with both meanings. I hear that in I'm stubborn and nothing's going to make me change my world. And then I also hear that as in nothing's going to disturb my peace. Nothing's going to take me out of this place. Nothing that could happen between us would change the way I feel about you. It's a multi-layered statement. I love music for that because you can kind of feel all of that meaning in the sound, in the way that that song sounds. Um, and so for the feminine energy with this Nine of Cups, that's what I'm getting today, actually. I'm selfishly guarding my peace. I have found what fills me up. I have found what makes me happy. And I have found that I am allowing myself to make wishes and believe in their fulfillment. And nothing is going to change my world. Nobody's going to take from my cup. Nobody is going to, like, the only people allowed to come to my table. I'm picturing the banquet table on another deck of cards from that I have. I think it is, trying to think what card it is. It might be the Thoth Tarot, but it shows just an empty banquet. Like, nobody's welcome to come to my table unless they bring some to fill my cups up. And I'll be happy to share with them, but only if they're replenishing my cups. That's where the feminine is. The masculine energy of the head space. This is the heart space, the feminine energy of the heart space. The masculine energy of the mind or the head space is the Fool. This is multi-layered too. The Fool, where I'm about to start a course for how to read tarot cards soon. And we're starting with the Fool, as you should when you're going to teach a class about the tarot. And so I've been thinking a lot about this energy, and it is also multifaceted in that we've got somebody that is, overall feeling like I've been foolish, but I accept that I've been foolish, and I'm going to make a fresh start now. I'm going to start fresh because I absolutely want to achieve what it is that my heart is wishing for. So the way that this might be experienced for you personally is that you were wishing for something that maybe makes you feel a bit foolish to have wished for, but you know that you want it. So you're not going to let anybody change what it is that you desire. You're going to hold on to that. That is something that you are going to hold on to. You're going to carry it with you. And your person can be having a similar experience. Like, maybe I'm foolish for wanting this. Maybe I'm foolish for wishing for this, but I'm going to let myself wish for it. Underlying this energy this week, we have the Two of Wands for the divine feminine, and for the divine masculine energy, we have the Page of Swords. Okay, so the Two of Wands is about journey and travel and restless energy and planning in particular. And so there's also kind of it's a little bit of a defeated energy that comes with the Two of Wands. It's what brings the restless energy, because you recognize at some point in all your restlessness and all your machinations and all the to-do lists you've made and all of the plans that you have laid, that it's not going to go. It's not going to go the way that you are thinking. It's going to be kind of out of your hands, and you just have to surrender to the journey. The Page of Wands, or the Page of Swords, is about being curious and learning and just kind of going for it, even though you don't know exactly what to do, like the best laid plans type of thing. It's like, I can't even really make a plan. I'm just going to have to go for it. I'm just going to have to be brave. I'm just going to have to communicate. I'm just going to have to post that thing. I'm just going to have to, apply for that job. I just have to do it, because I've spent too much time trying to figure it out. And if I don't surrender to the desire that I want to go on this journey, I'm never going to leave. So I just got to go for it at this point. I just got to find a place. I got to say, yep, I'm going to pay for that place, and I'm going to just go pay for it. And I don't even know if I can. It's giving that kind of a vibe. But this is in terms of connection and relationship and love. So the Two of Wands is also about a soul connection. The Page of Swords can be about watching and waiting and finally feeling like, you know what, it's foolish to keep watching and waiting. If I do that, I'm going to be doing that forever. If I actually want to bring about wish fulfillment in this connection, I need to fucking do something, okay? Oh yeah, this is not for kids, by the way. If you're watching and if you got your phone like within hearing, sorry, I'm too Italian to be able to handle not swearing. Okay, so what is the divine feminine thinking right now about the masculine? So what is the feminine energy, the person who's leaning more into their heart space, into their feelings, into their emotions? What are they thinking about the other person? Well, they're kind of thinking, I guess I'm on my own. I guess I'm on my own out here. Because I'm alone, and I was looking for connection. I was looking for some sign that this other person is making their way to me, and I'm not seeing it. And so I guess I'm just gonna keep going within. And I don't feel like a bad energy from this Hermit card. Actually, I feel kind of a comforted or safe energy. It's just, like, well, I guess I have to go it alone, but I can do it. I know where I'm going. I know how to do that. I've got a light inside that I am following, and that's what's going to happen. Okay, and then what's the divine masculine thinking about the divine feminine? Well, we've got this Page of Pentacles here. Well, I want to step up, right? We've got page 2-page energies here. So this is underdeveloped. It's undercooked, not quite fully baked. But the Page of Swords being underlying the situation is suggesting that despite the fact that it's not quite fully baked, hi Maria, I'm just seeing you there. It will likely still happen, and that's okay. But we've got this energy of like, okay, I just need to take this one step at a time, just one foot in front of the other. And even though I don't really know if she's going to like what I have to offer, I just got to put it out there, just one step at a time. I can do this. All right. And combining this with the Hermit energy, we see two individuals on their own. And we have one person who's coming out of this internal energy and another person who's going inward, because when they did step out of that energy, there was no one there, is what I'm getting. So the feminine is thinking like, every time I come out, from my safety and put myself out there, I don't get an offer. But I think this time could be different because of where this divine masculine is with this, like, this might not be fully baked, but I'm going to just go for it, So that's the thoughts that they're having. Okay. What are the feelings that are going through them? Divine feminine, here's a page, the Page of Wands. So that's the Page of Wands, the Page of Swords, the Page of Pentacles. This is feeling a spark, inspired, feeling like adventurous, feeling like exploring. So this is somebody who's done all their inner work, right? In her mind, she's like, well, I guess I just have to go it alone. And the heart space is like, look at how the heart space is going in a different direction. The heart space is like, no, we don't want to retreat into ourselves. We want to go out and explore. The only reason you think that you didn't see anyone when you came out of your Hermit energy before is because you were looking for this one specific person. When they didn't show up, that made you feel less than. And you had to go back inside and you had to figure out that you are more, you are worth more, and that those rejection wounds can't define you and they can't define your choices that you're making. So you have to step out of this Hermit energy now. Step out of this tendency for your ego, for your mind, for this masculine energy, the thoughts that keep you kind of stuck. Step away from that retreat energy, and instead you need to go out into the world. So I see conflict here. There's internal conflict because on the one hand, divine feminine's like, well, guess I'm just gonna be alone forever. And her heart's like, no, you're not. You just need to go out and explore because you're looking in all the wrong places. Divine masculine, what are we feeling here? We've got the The Seven of Swords covering up the Eight of Swords. Okay. This is the feeling. And what are the feelings but swords? Only the masculine is going to do that to me. So, this is somebody who is probably not very aware of how they feel because they're not letting themselves feel their feelings. This is the position for them to tell me so. And they gave me two of the cards in the deck that are about being about entirely about the way you're thinking about a situation. This is hidden things, secrets. I don't even know how I feel. My feelings are surprising to me. Um, and then this is the Eight of Swords. I am actually in a prison of my own thinking. I have a lot of boundaries up. Okay. So there's a lot of people listening. So there's different stories coming through. So for some, what I'm seeing is there's a person, probably somebody you just met, that is developing feelings for you and they're just not certain about it yet. They're not certain and they're a little bit afraid. They're afraid that they might lose their head if they get too involved, if they let themselves get too into their feels. Um, so that's somebody that's probably more of an early stage or getting to know each other or whatever. They are developing feelings, but they're afraid to. They're surprised by how they're feeling, whatever. There also could be sensing that you have had something happen to you that is not your that they're not aware of that causes you to be defensive in this Eight of Swords, because I'm seeing the emotions here are being kept behind this wall of thoughts. So they could feel like you have boundaries up and they feel like you might be overthinking. And you might be on the defensive and they don't know what happened to you and they're kind of curious about why that's going on. Then there's those that know exactly why that's going on. They know that you didn't like being a secret and that you have boundaries up because you don't want to be in a secret position. And so they feel like because they put you in that prison, it's hard to get to you now. And they kind of did it to themselves. And they don't want to feel, because if they let themselves feel the way that it feels to have put you in this position, it would feel very bad to them. It would make them want to just stop thinking and stuff. Okay, so that's all the different things that are going on there. So the masculine energy is kind of like, how can I get away without feeling my feelings? And the divine feminine energy is like, okay, I need to stop trying to avoid feelings and I need to go out and explore them. So that's not a match for me. That's not a good match here. We gotta see if that'll clean itself up towards the end of this reading. Okay, the next position we have is, what are they saying to each other? So divine feminine, what you're saying to the masculine is this Hanged Man card. I guess we're saying we're just going to put this on pause until I gain some perspective about this situation. Yeah, there's no movement here until I have a full picture of what is going on. I need to get the whole picture. I don't know. There's darkness here. There's things that are hidden. I need to see it all before I can get back to you on that. So what I'm saying to you is, we're not moving forward until I see what it is that I'm looking for in you. But I'm also comfortable, because the Hanged Man, you're kind of comfortable hanging upside down, looking around. It's not a painful position. It's sort of maybe a welcome pause. You just hang upside down. You see the world in a different way. That feels kind of good to you. So it's not a bad feeling. It's not like a typical Hanged Man where I'm like, oh God, I hate this feeling. She's saying like, you know what? I can just sit here until you can show me whether or not this is going to go anywhere. And I'm going to be perfectly fine, comfortable doing that. I'm surrendering to the inertia because I'm not in any kind of rush right now. That's her message. Now look at this. What is he saying to the feminine? Well, we've got more swords. We've got the Five of Swords, and that's covering up the Queen of Pentacles, and it's covering up the Chariot. So what the masculine is saying is, I'm fighting with somebody. It could be an actual person, the Queen of Pentacles. It could be a maternal energy, an ex-wife, a long-term partner, something like that. That there's some kind of a fight that or I was fighting for something and I'm no longer doing that and I'm leaving. I'm moving in a new direction, because we got the Fool at the beginning of the reading, so we know this is new energy. And we have the Chariot here, which is like moving on. And now we're also seeing that this Chariot is going through the emotions too. So willingness to like travel through the emotions could be coming through. We also have a feeling of defeat too. So there are those that are saying, what they're saying to you is like, I give up. You're too good for me. Move on. So they're telling you, go ahead and move on. I can't live up to your, we're not in the same place. Like, and I don't have an intention of being in the same place with you, or I can't. It's for this, for the Five of Swords card for me, this is like, I can't do it. I give up. I give up. And then for others, it's like, I've had a lot of mental conflict trying to figure out how to get to you, how to approach you, because you seem very difficult to approach. You can see by this energy that this isn't like the easiest energy to approach. So how am I going to how can I move to this next phase with you? And they're like racking their brain. They're saying to you, like, I'm really trying to figure out how to get to you. So that's what they're saying. What are they actually doing? So Divine Feminine, you're saying, all right, let's just pause, take a minute, let's look at the situation. Let me see what you have to show me. What are you actually doing? With this Six of Wands, I think you're being successful in that stance. I think this is working for you. It's giving you an advantage. You're focusing on your public persona. You're probably, you're showing up more for yourself in public. You care about how you're appearing, but it's not like in this negative way. It's just more like you're finally doing honor to like what has been sort of hidden within you. You're like letting yourself shine and just show up. And you're overcoming a lot of the obstacles that have existed and the conflicts that have been there. So for me, what you're saying and doing adds up. You're like, all right, I'm going to be successful. I'll put this on pause. I'll focus on my success. I'll focus on what's important to me. And if you want to join me here at some point, I'm open. And what is Divine Masculine actually doing? We have the Death card. So for some, I really do see him just being like, yeah, I give up. I give up. I'm foolish, and I don't have really anything to offer. I'm not really aware of my feelings, and so this is going to be the kind of text that's like, just sort of like, out of nowhere, the person is just like, yeah, I just don't think we're vibing, and you're like, what? We've been talking and everything. And you're like, okay, bro, and like you like them or something, and they just suddenly seem like it's going to be that kind of energy, like, for some. That it will be it's the transformation. It's what the Fool implies here. In order to have a fresh start, you have to have something end. So it's an ending. It's an ending to, if there's some kind of conflict going on with the Queen of Pentacles, it's that finally being over. It's no longer letting that get in the way. It's liberating yourself from the things that kept you stuck in place, and it's allowing total transformation. Also, you want to be reborn. You don't want to be the way that you were. You want to be like new. So your thoughts are completely new. You feel like you can be victorious. You feel like you can be successful, and you're not going to let your thoughts stop you. So what do you need to do to create harmony between what you're thinking, feeling, saying, and doing? We have here Divine Feminine. We have the Page of Swords again. That makes two of us. And that is giving, for those of you that are constantly like, enemy person is watching me. You're also probably watching your person in some way. And the Devil card. This is obsession, fixation. If you want to have more harmony between what you're thinking, feeling, saying, and doing, then I think that the repetitive, cyclic watching of another person, or looking to see if they've mentioned you in a post, or looking to, whatever it is, the spying energy, watching a ton of tarot readings, trying to get information is one of the ways that you can do that, whatever. The constantly being curious and fixated on someone else, in bondage to someone else, it is time to cut the cord. Cut the cord. So maybe you would benefit from like a cord cutting, like Reiki session, but you need to release yourself from just something that you keep doing repetitively. I don't even think you like it anymore. With the devil energy, I don't think it's even giving you pleasure anymore. This is just something you keep doing repetitive. You don't even want to. It's just part of your daily thing now, and you don't get anything from it. Whatever that is, you're knowing what it is right now. Just give it a rest. Just give it a rest. Why don't you give yourself 3 days? Give it 3 days. Still live in the okay, I'm seeing that. Okay. So then that's the feminine energy. For the masculine energy, how are we creating more harmony between what we're thinking, feeling, saying, doing? We are getting the Six of Pentacles. That's reciprocity, damn straight. And the Knight of Swords, which is the second time I've seen this card today. When I was shuffling earlier today, it came out, and here it is again. So for me, the Six of Pentacles is all about reciprocity. It's about giving back as much as you receive, allowing yourself to receive as much as you give, expecting to receive as much as you give. A lot of us don't expect much, right? Have you heard yourself saying that? I don't expect much. I don't expect much. Okay, well, maybe that's why you don't get much. There's, on the one hand, if you have your expectations so fixed that you never notice things that are good for you because you have this expectation that the only thing that's going to please you is going to be, that can be a problem. But there's a sweet spot. You want to have high expectations. You want to expect, take the bar out of hell. Okay. Let's lift the bar. Let's raise the bar. But so the reciprocity thing, if actually putting in as much as you're getting, and vice versa. And then the Knight of Swords is being painfully honest with yourself. Just being really, really, really honest with yourself. Listen, lying to yourself isn't serving anybody. It's not serving anybody. Nobody's convinced of your lies because you're not that good at it. And it's not improving the situation. It's not masking it. It's not improving it. What is it doing except for being like energy that could be spent in sparking change and sparking growth? If I said, you need to stop doing something that you're doing obsessively, and you're like, I'm not doing that obsessively. I only do it 5 or 6 times a day. If you find yourself making excuses, be honest with yourself about it, because this is your movie. It's not my movie. I could give a shit if you take my advice. Like, I mean, I hope you do, because I know that it will help you. But if you don't, I'm also like, okay, you're not meant to. Words don't teach, only experiences teach. And I think my role primarily is not really to get you to shift instantly. I think I can accelerate your healing process for one reason. I think when you have the experience, the tower moment, the thing that goes wrong, and you respond to it, after having heard me talk about similar things, after having heard me say things multiple times, you have a moment where you're like, oh shit, that's what Pearl was saying. And it validates your experience in that moment. But you are still going to figure the lesson out yourself. Like, I'm not learning it for you. I'm just kind of giving you the language for you to be able to articulate what happened to you after it happened, if that makes sense. And hopefully I'm speeding it along because you don't have to go do research after and be like, what was that just happened in my life? You're like, oh my God, this is like what Pearl said. I didn't know it until it happened to me. So what is the actual happiness potential in this connection? Well, believe it or not, we have another page. We have the Page of Wands here. And it's coming out with the Eight of Pentacles and the Eight of Cups. The universe is just being so much fun right now. Um, so, well, this technically I think is supposed to be a Knight of Wands. I actually take that back. It is not the Knight of Wands. It's the, I thought it was page because it says Prince, but I forgot that this deck has Princess and Prince. This is technically the Knight of Wands. So we're graduating from the Princess to the Knight. We're going from just the idea to actually having some kind of a um, burst of passion in some respect to doing this work, which is the Eight of Pentacles here, emotionally, so that we can return to one another in some cases. In other cases, there is this person is just going to go away, but it's going to serve you. It's going to serve you because they are basically, you're on hold for as long as they're holding on to you. And once they recognize that they just don't have what it takes and they're defeated and they need to go on their own way, it cuts this cord. It releases you from this bondage. And you don't have to wait for somebody to figure that out. You can figure that out yourself and do this yourself. You can preempt this. But as soon as you recognize, like, oh, yeah, I can't keep holding on to this person because this person, is it's just I can't get to them. Like, I'm not mentally where they're at, or we're not on the same page, or whatever it is. And then there are those of you that are going to see this person, that the happiness potential really is coming down to the work that you've done paying off, and that person engaging in their own work and being very passionate about that and about pursuing some kind of a higher calling, which for them would include returning to you in some cases. A lot of the same colors, greens and oranges coming up. So heart and solar plexus, or heart and sacral chakra healing need to come through. All right, so let's get your final oracle messages, and we're going to start with what would the divine masculine and what would the divine feminine say to each other. So the divine feminine first, she's going to speak first, and what she would say is Turkey Spirit number 61. She says, my message for you is that you always have the potential for manifesting a rich reality. For I represent generosity and a celebration of abundance through giving to others. Give freely without expectation, and you shall receive. For the manifestation of abundance is happening right now. Align with it by sharing your good fortune with others. Whether you give money, loving guidance, the gift of listening, or kindness in any form, immerse yourself in the flow of generous abundance, being a channel for me and the desire of spirit to see all beings experience the blessing of plenty. Give with gratitude and grace from a wellspring of love and compassion, knowing that spirit will respond by giving you all that you need in this moment and all moments to come. This is so interesting because what the divine feminine is doing is she's telling the divine masculine to be in his energy of giving, because to give is actually a masculine energy. To receive is a feminine one. So the feminine is like, you need to balance this dynamic. I have all of this abundance, but you have to give it in order for us to be able to experience it. So give it. And, it's interesting because we kind of got checked actually on the statement about expectation, because what she says is you should actually give without expectation and you shall receive. But for that, it's a refinement really, because what it's saying is as long as you have faith, you can always expect to receive. So you just give freely without expecting that the person who you're currently giving to is going to give it back to you, because you know that the universe itself is going to give it back to you. But when you're choosing somebody to be with in partnership, you want to choose somebody who is going to be able to give back to you consistently, because otherwise you will be depleted. So when you have expectations for a partner, you need to make sure that you're including your ability to receive and their ability to give in those expectations. Divine masculine, what would you say to the feminine? We have the protection message of the white raven spirit, number 66, says trust in the magic. I am recognizing that I am being distracted by the illusion of a chaotic universe. Deep in my heart, I know the world is full of magic. And I'm reminding myself that the ways of the world do sometimes cause spiritual amnesia. I need to stay awake and alert, for Spirit wants me to enjoy the miracles all around me. I must remember the evidence of divine order can be seen everywhere. I must ask for a sign and know that it shall be mine. Synchronicities happen all the time. So, now in this time of challenge and feeling cynical, I know that I all I need do is ask for a reminder. And when I do, my higher self will appear to reassure me that all of this is leading to something better, for magic is in the wind. So this mind is trying to convince itself of the magic, of not being able to explain something, um, and still know that it is true. That's really something that you have to be able to do. You have to be able to hold that when you are in that energy. All right, so let's do the signs and symbols. We've got for divine feminine. Look at the flamingos. You know, the flamingos came out the other day and I was wearing a flamingo robe and I didn't even realize that. Like until later, I was like, oh my God, I forgot the robe that I was wearing had flamingos on it. So these keep coming back. And this is, again, we have the green, and now the pink. So definitely heart chakra healing coming up here. The red for root. It says anger and fun here. Anger and fun together is very interesting. I want to also look at the masculine. I'm going to go over these cards in just a minute, but let's look at the masculine because we have this reversal, which I don't usually get here, on this rainbow that says hope on it. So that gives me star card vibes, like really desperately hoping here, and success. So we have divine masculine desperately hoping for success. We have divine feminine not having any fun anymore. Okay. She is like, this is not fun anymore. I'm actually even angry though. I'm angry at the lack of reciprocation. I'm angry that having relationships and just experiencing love is not fun. That's it. It's literally supposed to be fun and it's supposed to feel good. And I'm angry that it's been made so difficult for me to just fucking love somebody. Why? So I've got anger coming up for divine feminine. So we're going to quell that in just a moment. Divine masculine, what we have here is this desperately hoping, like wishing upon a star, wishing upon the hoping the rainbow, a pot of gold. I mean, just please, please, if you can hear me up in heaven, let me be successful here. Let me have success. We have orange again for the sacral chakra. So root, sacral, heart chakras all active right now and needing attention. So for the feminine, feeling angry that this isn't any fun anymore. And for the masculine, feeling, I'm so hoping that this will work. Like, I just want success here. What do they need? For the feminine, we've got this reach card coming out. And interestingly, for the masculine, we have peace, which definitely quells anger on the feminine side. So let's get this card. This is unlocking the Secret Garden Oracle. It has a dragonfly on it, which is showing me like sudden enlightenment, probably in something that was maybe keeping you from a certain inner knowing, finally just being enlightened around this area. So divine feminine, listen, I know you're angry that it hasn't been fun. I know you're angry that it hasn't been that it hasn't been simple and easy to get into connection and that you've been burned and it's just not been great. But now is not the time to hold back. Do not let uncertainty, anxiety, fear, or even pride keep you from reaching out. Extending yourself is the key to unlocking synergy. Reach for that dream, that possibility, that relationship. It is okay to stretch beyond your comfort zone. No growth comes from comfort anyway. Discomfort often yields levels of creativity you didn't know you possessed. Stagnancy is the enemy of the soul. So let your passion and presence be felt. Show up, offer, extend, let yourself reach for what you want while maintaining the healthy boundaries of self-worth. It is time for you to go the distance. You have to be dating. You have to be talking to people. You have to be communicating if you want a relationship. You have to reach out. You just have to. Oh, I didn't do the peace. So Divine Masculine's card for peace. We have to do that. The key to this situation is peace. So this is this desperately hoping for success thing. Do you get to make peace with a conflict? Peace in a relationship? Perhaps you get to make peace within yourself. Only you can determine the best way to go about it. But whatever has been offered so far isn't working. No amount of stress is worth your health and well being. So reevaluate what you've offered in the past and what you're willing to create now to restore your equilibrium. Seek peace at all costs, for it protects the treasure of your one precious life. Did you hear that message? That was very loud and clear. But basically, if what you offered in the past didn't get you anywhere, instead of desperately hoping that doing the same thing will work this time, I would suggest that you reevaluate what you offered in the past and become willing to offer something more now to restore your equilibrium. All right. That's all she wrote. This has been the Friday Love Reading. I am now going to answer questions for anybody who would like to have questions answered. You can hop over to my Pearls Prayers TikTok. You can go to the link in my profile and hit Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App to leave donations for this reading today. Or if you would like a personal reading, you can donate $20 to $30 on Venmo, and I will go ahead and do a reading for you right now live. But I'm going to be doing those over on TikTok. So I shall leave you now, YouTube. Thanks so much for being here. Please take advantage of that link in my profile to book a private reading, to become a member, to support my channel, to hear my music, and all those other good things that are available there. And it was good to see you all. Take care. I will see you tomorrow. Farewell.